taste for it?
She had a taste. No, even, Shabbos, I grew up,
Well, you're rolling the tape, so
be careful.
yes.
Okay, we'll continue.
Okay. So we are Likutei Moharan, Torah Vov, Kras Yeshua, Kol Yeshua. So now we're going to, the Rebbe is showing how this whole mahalach of,
We're still in Simon Zion in the middle?
no, we start with Vav. We're not Siman Zayin, we're Torah Vav, Siman Vav.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to explain how this entire saga is included in this term. V'zeh Peirush, this is what is bringing the Gemara in Baba Basra. Amar Rabba Bar Chana, this is what Rabba Bar Chana said. Zimna Chada Hava Azrim B'madbara. One time, we were spazieren, we were walking in the desert. V'chazinen Haye Avazi Deshmiten Gadfayu Bishmenayu. That we saw these geese that their feathers were droopy because they were so fat. V'kanagdi nachle demishche mitutaya, and they were like rivulets of oil, of fat, of molten fat, running from underneath them. And I told them, do I have from you, a part to the world to come? I mean, because fat is really. So he asked them, do I have a chelek of you to Elam Haba? Chada dalia li atmo, v'chada dalia li gadfa. One lifted a pulkin, a thigh, to show me that he has a thigh. V'chad herim li kana, lifted a wing at me. Kasoi lekamed Rabbi Eliezer, when I came before Rabbi Eliezer, Omerli, he told me as follows: Asidi Yisrael l'tinesadim. Am Yisrael will end up paying for these geese. Why? Because Am Yisrael are sinning, and because of that, the Bias Mashiach is being delayed, and because of this, the slaughter of this geese is also being delayed. They're going to be slaughtered and consumed in Bias Mashiach, and these geese, they suffer Tzam Balachaim because of their fat, until they'll be shechted. So Am Yisrael is going to give the din, they're going to pay, for making these animals, suffer with their fat, because this is the chelek olam haba. One, showed me a wing, one showed me a foot, one showed me a wing. Now, obviously, our Bachana over here is, this elliptical story here, is talking about totally a totally spiritual realm here. He's not talking about anything physical. And this is what he's saying. He says, we were going in the midbar, we're going in the desert. What does it mean that we're going in the desert? He went to investigate in this good midah of humbleness. A person makes himself like a desert that everybody steps on. As we said in the beginning, that the person has to eliminate and diminish his own kavod, and to increase in the kavod of Kadosh Baruch Hu, and to hear his bizoy, to hear his shame, and to keep quiet. He's the vishtak, and keep quiet and keep his mouth shut. And he saw the sages. This is what the geese are alluding to. How do we know that the geese are an allusion for a euphemism for Chachamim. As Chazal said, כמו שאמרו חמש זמן לברוכה, in Maseches Broches, הרואה אובז בחולם, if somebody sees a goose in his dream, יצא בה דחוכמה. You should wait, it means that wisdom is coming his way. He's acquiring wisdom. As the Gemara says, it's a bracha. It says, if you see a goose in your dream, that means you're getting wiser. It's up al chokhmah. Chokhmah is coming to you. So you see that in a certain symbolized, in the language of symbols, the goose is a symbol for chokhmah. Because that's what the dreams do. The dreams, they take the data and they translate it to a language of imagery, a symbolized, imagery language. So you see, so we see that a goose alludes to Chochmah. So he said he saw a goose, which means he saw the Chacham, he saw the sages. The Shemitah in Gadfayu, that their feathers were droopy. Rashi says, Ki Gadfayu hem noitzes. In Hebrew, feathers is noitzes, right? Noitzes. This is. But when we said, but the root of noitzes is netz, meaning argument. Moshe Rabbeinu came out, first time he saw an Egyptian man hitting his brother, and he looked this way and that way, and he killed him and buried him in the sand, right? Next day he comes out, what does he see? Vayal shnei anashim nitzim, two people fighting. So he says to the Rosh, why are you going to hit your friend? So Nasa Naviram, the two Twiddledum and Twiddledee, so they say, hey, who the heck are you? Me Samcha Sam Shefet, since you're judging us, what you're going to kill like you killed the Egyptian? He says, oh, and he ran away to Israel, the whole story, right? So Nashim Nitzim means they're fighting, they're arguing, having a brawl. So noitzes, it's from shorsh of nitzon, milchama, of argument. Ze b'chinas machloikes v'bizyonis. Noitzes, what Rashi says, that what is gadfayu? Gadfayu is noitzes. This is bizyonis. This is arguments that people fight against you and argue. Moshe Kosuv, ki yintzu anoshim.
How's netz hachama?
What?
Netz hachama?
This is when it comes out. I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Ki yintzu anoshim. That means in Sefer Dvarim it says if people shall fight, and comes the wife of one of them, and grabs hold of the other one in a place that shames him greatly, she has to pay for it. This is what it says in Deuteronomy, in Dvarim. And what is the language used? In Yintzu Anoshim. Again, if people will fight, if people will quarrel, people will. Hainu. He saw Avzi, he saw the geese, he saw the sages. The Shmitim got fire, that they let go. Shmitim, they drop. They drop, that the fact that people are fighting them and shame them, whatever it is, they don't pick up the fight. They drop it. The Shmitim got fire. They let go. They drop whatever it is that people fight, go against them, hurl at them. That they don't pay attention to the disputes and the derision that people shame them. And they hear their shame, they don't answer. And because of that silence that they keep silent, they're called chacham, they're called wise, they're called sages. Right? Right? This is what we said. What is siag l'chochma? Usually it means a trick to achieve chokhmah is shtika. Keep your mouth shut. That's the way, because the fool wants to talk. Let me tell you what I think. My opinion is, like they have all these census that they run. All these what you call, in the newspapers.
Polls.
These polls that they run. Will the Giants win the pennant this year or not? What's it got to do with the poll? What, everybody's a novi out there? Well, how they know? It doesn't matter. I'll tell you. They're going to win. I'll tell you why they're going to win. They're going to win. So, you want to be clever. They said, take the cotton wool out of your ears and stick it in your mouth. Right? Stop listening. Stop talking. Start listening. Right? He said, Siag l'chochma shtika.
Let your mind take over.
Siag means like a wall, like put a limit. The thing you should limit yourself in order to acquire wisdom is shtika. Simachsim laficha. Put a, machsim. This is the siag.
Machsim.
This is the siag. So siag l'chochma shtika. The kind of thing you should refrain from doing to acquire chokhmah is shtika. This being quiet. So the shtika is the gather for the chokhmah. Through this you can achieve chokhmah. And he says here, it says ki shtika b'chinas kesem, because the shtika, the quiet is kesem. This is a very, very deep inyan. Ki shtika, the silence, is b'chinas kesem. You see, Chokhmah is the level of non-verbal thought. Bina consciousness is a verbal thinking. You're thinking in words and images. This is the Bina. Chokhmah is a thought that doesn't even enter into words. It's like it's there, but you can grasp it without the Bina. Bina is the thing that puts it into words, you can grasp it. But there's a Chokhmah awareness. You can't grab it, you can't break it down because it's undifferentiated, because it's all one thing. Okay, you know how to drive a car. It's like, you just know it. It's not broken into sentences in your mind. It's just the Chokhmah itself comes from a higher level. The higher level of total silence. This is called B'chinas Ayin. It's a B'china of nothing. It's a nothing that you can only, but it's a nothing. It's not an emptiness. It's a nothing, which means it's totally, you don't have the kelim to perceive it at all. The mashal is usually given is, what do you see in the back of your head? The answer is nothing. But there's stuff behind your head. You just don't have the eyes to see it. The only way that you can see what's behind you is if you use a mirror, right? Then you can see what's behind your head. The same way you cannot see what's in the nothing of the Keser without the Chokhmah and Bina. Chokhmah and Bina are your mirrors to see what's in the nothing. So this is the thing that surrounds the Chokhmah. It gives birth to the Chokhmah. is the kesem. Kesem is a short crown. What is a crown? Crown is it encircles, right? We are used to seeing the spheres. Spheres of kesem is something that goes from up to down. But we have, what we call the envelopments, the makifin. The kesem is the makif. That's the thing. That's the source of the things that you know. That's the wisdom. That's the next step of what you're going to know. After what you know now, the next thing you're going to learn. What you know now is from that wisdom that came into words, to asagas, to your experience through time, through sitting and learning, whatever it is, and it's in. But there's still a lot more out there, right? But as far as you're concerned, it's nothing. You don't have any kind of, you can't touch it. It's like there's nothing there, right? This is called makifin. It's called envelopments. This is the kesem. Around what you know inside, there's a knowledge you don't know yet. This is what's behind your head. This is nothing. And this surrounds you. It's makifin. The entire avodah of learning and davening and isboidedus is to bring the makifin in. The reason why they don't come in is because you don't have the tools. In fact, when too much information comes in at once, we get confused, right? Why? Because we don't have the tools to deal with it. Like one of the things that they have in sports, in basketball and soccer, whatever it is, what they do is they're standing in a circle, and they're passing it from one to the other, and there's one defender in the middle that is trying to force you to give it up. They're training both ways. They're training the guy inside to press and to react to where the ball is. They're training the guys around not to be rattled by pressure. When the guy's pressuring you, you don't know how to pass, to be totally cool under pressure and to pass it. And you see during games, they're being pressured, they just pass it, they don't get rattled. What'll happen if you're not trained by that, that way? It's how you put pressure on you. You do mistakes under pressure, right? So making decisions under pressure is a fach all itself. It's a miktzah. It's a profession. It's a skill all on its own, right? Which once you're trained, you're able to handle it. But if you're not trained, you don't have the keli, what happens? You're rattled. You lose the ball, right? Okay. When we get too much, I want to know everything. Why don't I know everything? Because if you knew everything, you'd be totally confused. Why? Because you don't have the tools to handle it. How do you acquire the tools to handle it? Torah, mitzvah, simcha, which is all b'chinas shtika. The fools and the Rishonim, they want to know everything. They want to learn Kabbalah in university. Yeah. And in personal behavior, they behave like dogs. So they don't get any of it. I mean, they may get, schematically what comes before what, but they don't get anything. The way to get it is through preparing kelim, preparing faculties that are able to contain. Yeah. So that's what we're doing is we are working on ourselves by being quiet, by shtika, by davening, by learning, by making us baidadus, by talking with friends. We're building kelim. The minute believe me, the makifim want to come in more than you want them to come in. The minute you have the kelim, it comes in. So the shtika is b'chinas kesem. That is the way to get the kesem in. Look, it says siag lechochma shtika. Shtika brings the makifim in. That's why I said it's up. It says because firas kesem says so. It says ki aledei shtika. Just a second. Aledei shtika through the shtika, you're zoichet to tshuva. We said before, you're keeping quiet, you get tshuva, which is b'chinas keser, she b'chinas keser kanal. וזה בחינת סייג לחוכמה שתיקה. סייג לחוכמה, the boundaries for chokma is keeping quiet. סייג דייקה, דווקא a boundary, זה בחינת כסר. This is the principle of כסר. שהוא בחינת סייג וגודל סביב סביב. This is what we said, this is like a fence that is fencing out the chokma, that around and around, that surrounds and crowns the chokhmah. You know that the chokhmah can be, is bound in. It's not just spreading all out. This is what you know. It holds it together. It's like they bind it together. He said, because Sfiras HaKeser is above the Sfiras HaChochma, and it surrounds and envelops the Sfiras HaChochma. V'zeh HaKeser, and that Sfir of Keser, P'chinas Siyag, this wall, how do we make it? Nasa Mashtika. This is being built from being quiet. V'zeh Siyag L'Chochma Shtika. In other words, in the Keser, which is the wall around the Chochma, which walls in the Chochma, fences in the Chochma, is being produced, is being erected through the shtika, through the, keeping quiet. That's why people that keep quiet when they're being derised, they're zoichet to keser. So mimeli, you have a keser, you have the chokhmah in it immediately. V'zeh lishon the shmitan. That's what we said, the shmitan, that they drop, their feathers are drooped. The shmitan is also Lishon Shemitah, you have a Shemitah year. What does it mean? Yeah. You let it go. Shemitah Schovis, you let go of the debts. You don't collect them. כמו שכתוב, שמות כל בעל מה שיודעים. In time of Shemitah, all the lenders have to forego all the chov and not demand it. The same thing over here. Lishon Shemitah, the language of Shemitah means שהיינו שלא יתבל בוינוי. Don't pursue your embarrassments. Don't sue for redressing of the fact that you were embarrassed, that you humiliated. Hey, it's just like, don't look for any kind of restitution. Don't look for it, just let it go, just drop it, just let it go. Until here today.